Pontiac isn't going to be leaving the Oakland County lockup anytime soon.
No, and that's because her arraignment today, Kelly Bryant was given a $250 million cash bond. Let's go now to Victor Williams live for us in Pontiac tonight following all this. Victor, it's rare to see a judge set a bond that high in a child abuse case.
Yeah, Ty, it's totally rare that we see a bond amount this high, but we think that the judge definitely proved her point. This is likely something that this defendant may not be able to pay whatsoever.
I'm giving her a $250 million bond. Cash only.
It's going to now take $250 million in cash for 34-year-old Kelly Marie Bryant to get out of jail as she waits to go on trial for the neglect of her 3 children she allegedly left on their own for years.
My first knee-jerk reaction was to deny her bond. I find her a continued danger to the children.
There's no telling just how long it's going to take for crews to clean up the deplorable conditions the kids were living in. We saw several people doing the job today in hazmat suits.
It's just terrible. It's no words. There's no words that I could say. For something like this, a condition like this, there's no words I could say.
Prior to the bond amount being named, Bryant's court-appointed attorney tried her best to argue that her client was not a flight risk or a danger to the public.
She's a lifelong resident of the county. She was residing within the city limits of this community.
While Bryant looked off screen for most of the conversation, ultimately it was decided by the judge the main reason for the high bond amount was the chance of Bryant physically getting into contact with the kids while they're with relatives.
I'm concerned that she still may have contact with the family member from the jail with instructions to continue to engage in fear tactics to forbid the children from cooperating with authorities in their continued investigation in this matter.
Now, if Bryant is somehow able to come up with that $250 million bond, she's going to be ordered to wear a tether. She's also not supposed to have any type of contact with those kids at all, let alone any minor. But the cleanup still continues at that home, and we'll have more on what that process is like.
34-year-old Kelly Bryant from Oakland County, Michigan, lived at the home with her 4 children in 2019. But at some point in 2020, she allegedly moved out and left 3 of her children to live there alone, while the 4th child was sent to live with their father. On the afternoon of February 14, 2025, deputies responded to a townhouse in the 600 block of Lydia Lane after a landlord called for a welfare check for Bryant. The landlord told authorities that he hadn't heard from her since December 2024, and she hadn't paid rent since October. He was concerned that something may have happened to Bryant and her family. When deputies arrived, they found the house in deplorable conditions. Trash was piled as high as 4 feet tall in some areas of the home, and mold and human waste were found throughout the house. Authorities said the toilet was overflowing and they found feces in the bathtubs. Bryant wasn't there, but they found her 3 children, a 12-year-old girl, a 13-year-old girl, and a 15-year-old boy who were wearing soiled clothing. Their hair was also matted and their nails were several inches long. Her daughters were hiding in a bathroom that was filled with feces, piles of trash, and completely non-functional, while her son was hiding in another room. Investigators later learned that the boy slept on a mattress on the floor while the girl slept on pizza boxes. These children had no physical contact with their mother, and the only child that ever communicated with Bryant was her 15-year-old son, who told investigators that he would text his mother when the food supply was low. Bryant would then use companies like Instacart and DoorDash to send the 3 children food. However, she never sent them toiletries like tissue paper, soap, or shampoo. Towards the end, the children were being sent 1 loaf of bread to share that was supposed to last them several days. In addition, the only child to have ever set foot outside was the boy, twice, once to check the mail and another time to touch the grass. After the children were found on Friday, February 14th, they were immediately taken to the hospital for an evaluation, and they all showed severe signs of neglect, according to the prosecutor. At the hospital, the children struggled with completing hygiene tasks like flushing a toilet and brushing their teeth because they had not done it in years. The prosecutor noted that the children appeared to be doing okay considering everything they had been through. Child Protective Services later then placed the children into the custody of a family member. The same day, Bryant was found at another location and arrested without incident. Bryant was charged with 3 counts of first-degree child abuse on February 19, 2025. If convicted, she faces up to life in prison. In addition, the prosecutor's office is seeking to terminate her parental rights. On February 20th, Bryant was arraigned on the child abuse charges and given a $250 million bond. If she is released, she cannot have any contact with her children or any minors. She also cannot possess alcohol, drugs, or weapons. She must also wear a GPS tracking monitor. Oakland County Judge Rhonda M. Gross set the bond so high because she believes Bryant was a flight risk and a danger to children. The judge is also concerned about Bryant being able to contact her children since they do live with a family member.